Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and I am also joined by my wonderful co host, Sunita Allister. How are you today, Sunita?
I'm fine, Prince. I hope you're feeling better now.
I am feeling much better now after being out of the office for 2 weeks with flu. So, well, actually, I think this happened right after I wasn't fully back to work after being on the mend with the flu, but I was still checking emails. And I finally got a response. So today's news, you guys, is actually RTG news. It's internal news. So I had sent a message to my good old friend Mary Cheney, who is the marketing manager over at VoIP Supply. As you know, Sunita, Mary is probably our number one person who sends over all the fun packages of IP phones and headsets and things like that we review on the channel. Um, I had sent her a request, I want to say about a month ago, saying, hey, you know that we mainly talk about Polycom and Yealink because that's what most people are asking for. But there's one big player out there who's missing from the lot that I'd really like to engage. Could you help me with the contact? And so she reached out to Cisco for me and connected me up with somebody. Um, she let me know that Cisco tends to respond a little slower than a lot of the other guys that we work with. But nonetheless, the week after I was like super sick and I was just kind of laying low for a week in the house, trying to recollect myself. Cisco actually responded and said, hey, we've seen a bunch of your videos. We really like what we see. We would absolutely love to chat with you. So I don't know if you've really seen much of them or worked with much of them. Like, I've had some customers ask for them every now and again, but I feel like, well, before I tell you what I think about all this, what's your thoughts? In your dealings with hundreds of customers that we work with that are looking for phone systems, has anybody ever asked for Cisco, or what are they usually asking for when you chat with people?
Well, most of the time they already have Cisco. But I mean, I'm talking about the bunch of them who just ask or discuss Cisco with me.
Yeah,
And rest of them, they do ask that if we work with them or if we represent them. So definitely there is a group of people who just still, interested in something other than the Polycom and Yelinks and some regular phones. So people know about them, but it's just like you said that it's little than everybody else
yeah.
in the
So,
market.
Cisco's an interesting one. Like, people always ask me about them, and they say, I've had several people, some in the comments on YouTube and some over the phone, that have asked me over the past like year and a half. They'd said, "Hey, how come you never talk about Cisco phones on the channel? How come most of the phones that you're talking about are typically Polycom and Yealink?" So let's just be real. Typically, it's almost always Polycom and Yealink because those two, I'm pretty sure, as far as the market numbers go, dominate the market. Um, I also have noticed that the majority of VoIP service providers, that tends to be the majority phones that they have firmware for or that they have the software certifications to provision. It's usually a lot of Polycoms or a lot of Yealink phones. And then there's some out there like your Nextivas of the world and your Yealink, and your, I'm sorry, your Nextivas and your Ring Central that support some stuff like Snome and VTech and things like that. But Cisco is an interesting one because to me, Cisco, I've always told those folks that say, "Hey, Prince, what about Cisco? When are you going to talk about them?" Cisco is almost like they kind of remind me of Apple computers in a way, to where they serve a specific niche, they serve a specific group of people, as you put it. Um, I've personally seen a lot of Cisco in high level medical, like hospitals, and I've seen a lot of Cisco used in government. Because for those of you who may or may not know, in a previous life, I used to do some government contracting, like structured wiring and a little bit of networking and PC repair and stuff like that, in a much further away life in the old days. And so I'm actually kind of excited that we've connected with Cisco and they're excited about sending us hardware for review on the channel, because I think it's going to open up a whole new door of a new group, or new, I guess we'll say, customer avatar of businesses that specifically like Cisco. So what do you think? What are your
Well,
thoughts in regards to this?
my thoughts are same that I'm really glad and happy at the same time, and plus it's a good feeling whenever some provider or some new brand they just come along with us and they start working. It's a new experience, so you learn uh, so much different from you're just doing currently. And at the same time, it's just very good to know more people and more stuff about the new technology and everything going on in the market, and
Yeah,
this world, yeah, today's world, you can say. So I'm also very excited about that, and it's good to hear from them at the same time.
yeah. To add on to what you said, I'm excited about it because it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to bring out it's I think it's going to attract more viewers to our channel that are of a different class, because one thing that I notice about Cisco is they're not cheap. Their phones are not cheap. They're
They are
typically
expensive. Hmm.
they're typically much more expensive than Polycom, much more expensive than Yealink. But the thing that I notice about users that contact me that are interested in Cisco, they don't care that Cisco has a premium cost compared to Cisco's competitors. Um, I'm not saying that I necessarily want customers who have deep pockets. It's just there's something to be said for customers who trust a brand and like a brand so much that the price isn't so much the concern. It's more of what that brand is offering and how it's advancing and the quality of this specific model or that specific model. So I'm actually really excited to see not only what type of client base that brings to the table that you and I will start consulting with, but I'm also really excited to see how Cisco's hardware stacks up with an adjacent how Cisco's conference phone stacks up with the adjacent Polycom conference phone, or how Cisco's flagship desktop stands up to the adjacent Yealink desktop phone, or whatever. I'm actually really excited to see how that plays out, and what that looks like and whatnot. So, anywho, that's all I've got to say. In short, that's the official announcement that, from what I'm gathering and talking with VoIP Supply and talking with our Cisco contact, it looks like we will be reviewing some Cisco hardware on this channel, for the foreseeable future. Once they start sending the first things, assuming they like the videos that we produce, which I'm sure they will, they start sending us more things as new stuff comes out, and I'm really excited to see how our audience and how our clients receive that, and what they and how it compares. I'm excited to give Yealink and Polycom a little what's the word that I'm looking for? A little healthy competition on the channel. So, anywho, any closing thoughts before we before
Well,
we wrap this one up?
I'm also happy and excited at the same time that along with Polycom and Yearlings, we have something new to discuss and someone new to work with. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at this point, this means we'll definitely be talking about the top three. I mean, as you know, we've had some VTech, and we've had some Snome, because VTech and Snome is a big one. I'm also, as we speak, I'm also actively talking with Fanville. I don't know if you're familiar with Fanville. Most nobody knows who they are that I talk to. Whenever they see the reviews, they're like, "That's a really cool phone that you review." Because I've had a couple Fanville things on the channel, but we're also talking to them too. So that's another one that I think we're going to add to the gamut. But I think at this point, once we get some Cisco on the channel, we'll have the top three on there. We'll have your Cisco, your Polycom, and your Yealink, because they're definitely the top three market shareholders. So, anyways, that wraps up this video. RTG will officially be reviewing some Cisco hardware on the channel in the foreseeable future. For those of you, well, before I get into the outro, of course, as always, Sunita, thank you so much for being here. Your opinion is
Thanks for
always
having me.
welcome. And for those of you who are watching and you're either a Cisco connoisseur or you're interested in learning more about Cisco, not only will we be able to offer you those phones here very soon, we also heard some rumors that Cisco has a new UCAS, or a new cloud, like a new hosted phone system service as well, that they've got in the works. So we may be actually talking to some folks from over there, the powers that be, on what that is, and may even be able to line up some demos for you guys to see that. But I actually saw that in a LinkedIn post this past weekend, that Cisco has a quote unquote new cloud based phone system in the works. I think it's actually out. And I think this would compete with like your Vonages, your Nextivas, your Ring Centrals, your Dial Pads, and all that of the world. So this could be a really interesting 2022 for Cisco as this unfolds, not only with what they're working on, but also with partnering up with us to help them kind of bring it to the audience, bring it to the market, to the eyes of folks that are looking for new communication systems. So,
True.
anyways, as always, folks, this is Prince Rich and Sunita Allister, your go-to folks for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. We'll catch you guys again in the next video.